straight up, yes. I think this movie is 100% worth watching. Like, this movie had like a lot of moments where I was on the edge of my seat, like, in all honesty, just trying to figure out what's gonna happen. Because this movie did a really good job at, like, not hiding anything, if that makes any sense at all. Like, they show you like, all the gruesome, gory shit and like all the uncertainty of everything. And it just like overfills your head with just like everything happening at once, and it just feels really real. And I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this movie was made from the memory, based on the memory of these people who actually were in that. But the movie Warfare did such a good job at just like, how do I say, like making it like making you feel like you were there. You know what I mean? And even though it's like the really basis of a lot of things, I feel like a lot of war movies, or from what I've perceived them and everything like that, they, I don't want to say glamorize it, but you know, like it's definitely, it doesn't feel as like serious or as awful or as horrible as being there, because at the beginning of the movie, little bit of a spoiler, like, you know, obviously there's like, you know, they're just like introducing them, what's going on, where they are, or what's happening, you know what I mean? And they do a good job of doing that, you know what I mean? And it does start out kind of slow. I will admit that, you know what I mean? Because obviously that's how it is, you know what I mean? Not every second of every single moment of like every time you're in the military, I feel, is just gonna be action or this and that, blah blah. And in fact, most of the time, from what this movie showed, that's the thing you want to avoid the most, just action, being like in the heat of the moment, because it's terrifying. It's so fucking terrifying in so many ways. And just, it was so crazy. It really was a crazy experience. And not only was it a crazy experience, like the actors did such a good job of just showing the fear, the uncertainty, the overwhelmingness of everything. Because, like, spoiler here, there's this one scene where this one guy, like, he's like the communications guy, I guess you could say, and he's being told by the people like what's going on. He's being told by the people in the headset what's like, hey, you know, this is what's happening, and then like, you need to communicate this to them, you need to communicate this to them, this and that. And while he's trying to like help his injured friend and everything, there's so much going on, like, and they do such a good job of doing that, because like obviously with the headphones in of the guy, you know, you hear the comms most of the time, but then you hear his friends screaming for help, and then you hear his like, uh the people around him like, hey, what are we gonna do, this and that. And it just feels so fucking like overwhelming and everything, and I love that so much. And not only that, watching this in theaters was such a great experience. And I think watching it in theaters was a great experience because you could feel the tension in the entire room, because there's so many gruesome and so many like, parts where like you can feel the tension in everybody's just the back of their throat, you know what I mean? Where like the movie's quiet and everything is quiet. Like you don't hear anyone breathing. You hear people like maybe one guy coughing, but it's just like a moment of like, because that's what it is. That's literally what it is. And it was such a good experience. And like this movie was really worth watching. But I'll say this much. I will say this much. It is like something that's I'm not. It's not easy to watch. I guess you could say this and that, because like I said, like it does not, it does not pull back. It really doesn't, because you see everything, and oh my fucking god, there's like, when I was watching this movie, I was eating nachos and popcorn and, you know, like a drink. You know what you usually have at movie theaters, minus nachos. I was just hungry, but like man, there were some scenes where I lost my appetite because holy fuck, and oh my god. But it was worth the watch. It was so 100% worth the watch. Like, I can't really think of any moment in this movie where like I was not having a good time, or I was not expecting the worst, or this and that. You know what I mean? And I love that. I really do. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a movie where like, oh, there's one definite bad guy and these other heroes, and they're gonna, you know, make it out alive and this and that. Because man, it was not setting up for that at all. And it's just crazy. It was just a crazy experience, and I genuinely cannot recommend this movie enough. You know, it was realistic. It showed it did not hold back anything. Like, the actors did such an amazing job portraying what they were portraying. You know, like it was, oh my god, it was a crazy experience, and I really really enjoyed it. And I definitely think it's worth watching, especially in theaters. This is the one movie that I can say in theaters would probably be better than at home, because just the sound effects and like the bass and everything hitting like you at once. Oh my god. And even my friends that went to go watch it with me, usually they're not big movie guys, I guess you could say, but like they loved it. They really did love it, and they felt as if they were there, obviously to a certain degree. But man, this was a crazy experience, and you should go watch it. 100% go watch it. Like I cannot recommend it enough. And yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoy it. Take care.